Federal government to end electricity subsidy by 2027. Governor Makinde inaugurates inquiry commission into Orire school abductions. And on the foreign scene, communal unrest leaves 3 dead in Nepal. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on News Around the World here on BCOS television. I am Idowu Shekoni, and the sign language corner is Korede Oluleye. The federal government has announced plans to phase out electricity subsidy payments from 2027 as part of efforts to address mounting debt in the power sector. Minister of Power Joseph Tegbe disclosed the plan during the media interactive session on Friday, saying the subsidy would be removed gradually and consumers would not lose access to electricity services. The minister also said there is no immediate plan to increase electricity tariffs. The announcement aligns with recommendations by the International Monetary Fund for Nigeria to gradually remove electricity subsidies. The minister's comments come amid ongoing efforts to clear legacy debts in the sector. Professor Ishak Oloyede on Friday handed over to Professor Segun Aina as the registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, bringing an end to 10 years of leadership at the agency. It had earlier been reported that President Tinubu appointed Professor Aina as the new registrar of JAM to succeed Professor Oloyede. The appointment was announced in a statement issued by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. According to the presidency, Professor Aina is a professor of computer engineering at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, with expertise in digital infrastructure, national examination systems, and institutional reforms. President Tinubu expressed confidence that Professor Aina would consolidate on the reforms and achievements recorded under Professor Oloyede's administration and further strengthen the operations of the examination body. You're watching News Around the World on BCOS television. We have a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
If you feel the body, you go pray for me. I'm not gonna move our body dangerously. You didn't make my heart go, body and soul. I still they go, I still they go.
Welcome back. The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has said that the decision to call for an independent examination into the abduction of teachers and pupils in Orire local government area was not intended to undermine the efforts of security agencies, but to establish the facts surrounding the incident, strengthen accountability, and improve the state's response to future security challenges. Governor Makinde said this while inaugurating the Judicial Commission of Inquiry on the abduction of students and teachers from Esiele and Yawota communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State. Details of the event held at the executive chambers of the Governor's Office is presented by Governor's Office correspondent Olaliko Suleiman.
Inaugurating the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the abduction of students and teachers from Esiele and Yawota communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde said the abduction of innocent school children and their teachers was not merely an attack on the affected schools and communities, but an assault on every Nigerian child's right to learn in a safe environment and the confidence of every parent who sends their children to school. While noting that the successful rescue of the victims brought relief to the government, families, and other stakeholders, Governor Makinde stressed that accountability and institutional reforms will restore public confidence and help prevent a recurrence of such incidents.
It was for this reason that I called on the international community to support an independent examination of the circumstances surrounding this incident. That call was never about diminishing the efforts of our security agencies, whose sacrifices we acknowledge and appreciate. It was about ensuring that every lesson is learned and every question that deserves an answer is answered.
The governor charged members of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry to be guided solely by the evidence, the law, and the public interest. He assured them that Oyo State government will provide every support required for the commission to carry out its assignment independently and professionally.
My advice is that your work must be guided only by the evidence, the law, and the public interest. The people of Oyo State, and indeed Nigerians, expect nothing less than an impartial, thorough, and credible process. I've so completed within the shortest possible time. I've given 1 month, 4 weeks, but feel free to come back to us if you require additional time to ensure that we do not leave any stone unturned.
Addressing journalists on behalf of the commission, its chairman, retired Justice of Court of Appeal, Professor Majid Owade, assured Nigerians that the panel will uncover the truth without fear or favor.
When I was called, I was assured that those that will work with me are people of great experience and the highest integrity. And I've met them, and I believe that. So that in unraveling the truth, Nigerians should be assured that there will be no disappointments.
Other members of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry are Professor Jibril Ibrahim, Mrs. Ayobe, AIG Ngozi Onadeko, retired, Mr. Bimbola Orugade, Major General Sanusi Muazu, retired, Mr. Folonsho Osurai. The secretary of the commission is Mrs. Olamide Sandra Tella. The event had in attendance the principal of the community high school, Auro Esele, Mrs. Rachel Alamu, and her husband, Professor Wole Alamu, Olalekan Sulaiman. BCOS News.
The Oyo State Governor and presidential candidate of the Allied People's Movement, APM, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has inaugurated the party's Apex Presidential and Governorship Campaign Council ahead of the 2027 general elections. The inauguration ceremony was held on Friday at the conference room of the governor's office, Agodi, Ibadan, where members of the Apex Campaign Council were formally unveiled and inaugurated. Details are presented by Governor's Office correspondent Olalekan Sulaiman. Again.
Addressing the newly inaugurated members of the Allied People's Movement, APM, Apex Presidential and Governorship Campaign Council in Oyo State, the state governor and the presidential candidate of APM, Engineer Seyi Makinde, charged members to build an all-inclusive campaign structure capable of uniting party members and positioning the party for victory in the 2027 general elections. The governor said the coalition behind the current political movement mirrors the alliance that brought politicians from different political parties together under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, ahead of the 2019 election. According to him, members of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Accord, and Alliance for Democracy, AD, successfully came together under one platform to win the election, stressing that the present political realignment is not unprecedented.
The PDP faction that are claiming, that they now own PDP, they've all declared what they are doing. They are supporting APC. So, some of us that want an environment, a political environment where what our founding fathers in this country stood for, federalism, multi-party democracy, not one party being an appendage of the government. For those of us, we are in the APM.
He urged members to immediately engage leaders and stakeholders across Oyo State, integrate the party structure with APM platform, and intensify mobilization effort ahead of commencement of campaign.
You have less than a week to go around, ensure that all over the states we at least get all our people together and get them integrated.
The governor inaugurated Dr. Nureni Adeniran as the Oyo State coordinator of the APM 2027 Apex Presidential Campaign and Director General of Oyo State Governorship Campaign Council. The members of the council include Honorable Said Arosaye, Honorable Demola Ojo, Dr. Femi Ojo, and Alhaji Shiju Lawal. Also inaugurated were Honorable Ramota Agbiremi Dabo and Honorable Kazim Bolaniwa. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
The recent ruling of the Court of Appeal ordering a stay of execution on the Federal High Court judgment directing the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to deregister 5 political parties has reignited discussions on electoral law, political pluralism, and the future of Nigeria's democracy. The development formed the focus of discussion on the BCOS Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120, where the Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Oyo State Chapter, Adebimpe Adelowo, and the Public Relations Officer of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Oyo State Chapter, Engineer Ayodele Omogbeminiyi, analyzed the implications of the appellate court's decision. Reporter Shokunbi Tobiloba monitored the program. His report is presented by Adebayo Abdurrafi.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja recently ordered a stay of execution of the Federal High Court's judgment directing INEC to deregister 5 political parties over their alleged failure to meet constitutional requirements in previous elections. The ruling means the affected political parties will retain their legal status pending the final determination of the appeal, while the substantive issues remain before the courts. Reacting to the judgment, the Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Oyo State Chapter, Adebimpe Adelowo, described the decision as a reaffirmation of the rule of law and due process. He maintained that the Court of Appeal acted within its constitutional powers to preserve the rights of the affected parties until the appeal is determined, stressing that no political party should be deprived of its legal status before exhausting all available judicial processes. Adelowo also argued that the ADC remains a viable political platform with an established presence in Oyo State and expressed confidence that the courts will ultimately uphold justice.
Everybody, every litigant in the court of law has right to pursue his matter to the final destination.
Contributing, the Public Relations Officer of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC Oyo State Chapter, Engineer Ayodele Omogbeminiyi, described the appellate court's intervention as a victory for constitutional democracy, while acknowledging INEC's constitutional authority to regulate political parties. He emphasized that such powers must be exercised within the confines of the law and with respect for the rights of all political parties. Engineer Omogbeminiyi noted that the continued existence of diverse political parties strengthens democratic participation, broadens citizens' choices, and promotes healthy political competition.
Issues of the party should be solved within the party. Yet you just see some of the members of the party going ahead to courts to challenge the decisions of the party. The court has given a profound judgment on both that all these things should be managed within the political party.
The two guests agreed that the Court of Appeal's decision reinforces confidence in Nigeria's judicial system by ensuring that disputes are resolved through due process rather than premature enforcement of court judgments. They urged political parties to continue operating within the provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Act, while expressing hope that the final judicial outcome will further strengthen democracy, the rule of law, and Nigeria's multi-party political system.
All right, we have another timeout. News around the world. We'll be right back. Please don't go away.
Alert! Today's car just pulled in. What's new?
Wonderful.
How about now? Ah, see these jokers. So you want hide better thing from your uncle?
New Pure Bliss Gold, now in 3 delicious flavors for your delightful indulgence.
Pure Bliss Gold, no they have.
Many thanks for staying tuned. As part of efforts to upgrade administrative infrastructure and enhance service delivery, the Ibadan Southwest local government has officially launched the newly constructed office of the executive chairman at the council secretariat at Leshinloye, Ibadan. The commissioning ceremony drew prominent attendees, including government officials, political stakeholders, and local residents. Our reporter, Oyeshile Oloyede, was at the council secretariat at Leshinloye and now reports.
The launching of the newly constructed Executive Chairman's office underscores another milestone in the Ibadan Southwest local government's commitment to reinforcing governance through enhanced infrastructure and establishing a more favorable working environment for optimal service delivery. Dignitaries at the program praised the council's leadership for focusing on initiatives that enhance public services and foster local development.
Oyo State and the Southwest,
During the ceremony, Executive Chairman of Ibadan Southwest Local Government, Honorable Kehinde Akonde, underscored that the project embodies his administration's commitment to transparency, accountability, and sustainable development. He commended Governor Seyi Makinde for his enduring commitment to grassroots development, outlined key projects executed under his administration, and reasserted his resolve to implement People's Focus program that improve residents' life.
This magnificent office complex is more than just a building. It's a symbol of purposeful leadership, accountability, transparency, and commitment to provide a conducive working environment.
Representing Governor Seyi Makinde, the Public Works and Transport Commissioner, Honorable Mojid Mogbojubola, characterized the project as evidence of the state's resolve to fortify local government administration. He emphasized the need for public office holders to ensure meticulous maintenance of government facilities, remaining steadfast in their duty to provide top-notch services that significantly enhance the lives of citizens.
For me, it's a fantastic project, and is worth the while that he's done he's putting on such an edifice to the benefit of mankind.
In separate goodwill messages, Alhaja Bose Adedibu, Right Honorable Stanley Olajide Odidiomo, Honorable Olakunle Akinsheton, alongside other stakeholders, lauded the executive chairman's initiative, emphasizing that the new office represented a substantial step forward, consolidating governance and improving administrative efficacy at the grassroots.
This is a beautiful day, a beautiful project, a beautiful initiative. We thank our Excellency Governor Oluwaseyi Abiodun Makinde. Without his support, something like this would not have happened. This makes the workflow at the local government very, very seamless. This makes the work better. So, a better workspace makes you a better worker.
The ceremony reached its pinnacle with the unveiling of the newly constructed office of the executive chairman, as esteemed guests expressed their conviction that the facility will enhance governance efficacy and contribute substantially to the development of Ibadan Southwest local government. Oyeshile Oloyede, BCOS News.
You're still watching news around the world on BCOS television. We have yet another commercial break. Please stay with us.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
Welcome back. The Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone (SAPS) program implemented by the Oyo State government has launched a capacity-building initiative for youths centered on job creation, entrepreneurship, and agribusiness development in a bid to foster wealth creation, self-reliance, and economic advancement. The 3-day training program, convened at an event center in Odono Kekere, Ibadan, forms part of the African Development Bank-funded SAPS initiative, which aims to equip young individuals with skills for opportunities across the agricultural value chain. Our reporter, Adiola Oladile, who covered the event, completes the story.
The Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones, SAPS, an initiative funded by the African Development Bank, has launched the capacity building for youth on job creation and entrepreneurship program, which is executed by Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, OISADA. During his opening remarks at the workshop, the state project coordinator of SAPS, Mr. Ajetumobi Akinwumi, stated that the initiative aims to tackle the escalating issue of youth unemployment by equipping participants with skills for commercial, agriculture, and agribusiness. He explained that the SAPS program aims to establish agro-industrial processing zones in prominent food-producing regions, thereby empowering small-scale farmers, agro-processors, traders, women, and youth to capitalize on emerging market opportunities.
The present government of Oyo State, under the leadership of His Excellency, Engineer Oluseyi Makinde, has taken the bull by the horn and has started changing the agricultural narration from peasantry to commercial farming, which involves agribusiness through agricultural industrialization, which is the path to wealth.
Also speaking, the chairman, Oriole Local Government, Engineer Akim Olatunji, urged participants to take full advantage of the opportunity, adding that agriculture offered greater economic prospects than the nation's overdependence on crude oil.
Just of recent, we have just gotten about 750 acres of land. You understand? So, as the local government, we will make it available for them to practice, and I believe that the government is also going to support them financially.
The facilitator, Mrs. Bolanle Olorode, and a participant from the University of Ibadan and cassava farmer, Mr. Tobi Bamigboye, expressed optimism in their separate interviews with BCOS News, believing the training would inspire more young people to take up agribusiness as a sustainable means of livelihood.
We're already in the technology space and it is not going away at all. How can they use technology to their advantage, and not do business the way it used to be 30, 40 years ago? Can they use some technology to improve their business? These are basic things that we've put together in this training.
I see this training as a piece of opportunity for me to be able to expand beyond my current size of farming, and also to be an employer of labor after the training.
The SAPS program is being implemented in Oyo State as part of the comprehensive initiative by the federal government, the African Development Bank, and participating states to foster agricultural industrialization, generate employment opportunity for youth, and enhance food security through commercial agriculture. Adiola Oladile, BCOS News.
Activities marking the Silver Jubilee of the IO International College and Kiddie School were on Saturday concluded with a grand end-of-the-year and 25th anniversary celebration. The event, held at the school premises in Ibadan, was graced by dignitaries, educationists, parents, alumni, and well-wishers. BCOS reporter Olamiposi Shola completes the story.
In spite of weather conditions resulting from rainfall, esteemed dignitaries Educationists, parents, and students assembled at the Ayo International College and Kiddie Schools for the conclusion of the Silver Jubilee festivities. Chairman of the occasion and second deputy president of the Ibadan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mines and Agriculture, ISIMA, Engineer Olusegun Bolaji, commended the founder of the school, Dr. Ayoyinka Babatunde, for her contributions to education in Ibadan and Oyo State over the past 25 years. Engineer Bolaji described Dr. Babatunde as a visionary educationist who has consistently raised brilliant, disciplined, and God-fearing students who are making impacts across the country in the diaspora.
To our brothers today, it is more than just a graduation ceremony. It is the beginning of a new chapter in your lives. As you leave these familiar classrooms, remember the success is not measured only by certificates, but by your integrity, hard work, immunity, compassion, and positive impact you make wherever life takes you.
In her address, the proprietors of the Ayo International College and Kiddie School, Dr. Ayoyinka Babatunde, expressed gratitude to God for sustaining the school for 25 years. She described the Silver Jubilee as more than a celebration of years, but a celebration of impact and legacy.
Since we came into being 25 years ago, it can only be God. And we can see that year in, year out, He has been helping us to ensure discipline is maintained, to ensure that success of our students keep improving, and at the same time that we try to show them the path of God so that they can have a total education.
The program also featured cultural performances, drama, spoken words, and musical presentations by pupils and students of the school. Other highlights included an alumni conference day, students in Diaspora Connect, our 25th anniversary Thanksgiving service, and visits to 5 charity homes across Ibadan, where food items and educational materials were donated. The celebration also featured prayers for the graduating set of the school, as well as unveiling and launching of the Ayo Praise Book and Silver Jubilee magazine. As part of the activities marking the anniversary, the school earlier commissioned the CBT Hall and a new water bowl project to improve facilities for students and community. The school also awarded scholarships to 5 pupils from public primary schools in Egbeda local government to enable them to complete their secondary education at the Ayo. The event was attended by some members of the school board, including former head of service in the state, Alhaji Tajudeen Aremu, Dr. Ayodele Falashe, Labour veteran, Barrister Olu Abiala, and representative of the CCI president, Mr. Sulaiman Raufu. Olamiposi Ishola, BCOS News.
Graduating students of Seed of Life College, Ibadan, have been encouraged to celebrate their achievements, remain focused on their future aspirations, and build a personal relationship with God as they prepare for the next stage of their academic journey. The advice was given at the school's 2026 valedictory service and prize-giving ceremony held in the Ologun Eru area of Ibadan. BCOS reporter Folashade Akintola has more.
The colorful ceremony attracted students, parents, teachers, alumnus, and other well-wishers who gathered to celebrate the graduating class for successfully completing their secondary school education. Delivering the keynote address, an alumnus of the school, Mr. Iriolu Amoakinyo, urged the graduating students to appreciate the significance of the milestone while preparing purposefully for the future. He advised them to continue seeking guidance from their parents, remain committed to their educational goals, and cultivate a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, strengthening their faith in God will provide directions and strength for the journey ahead.
Graduating from secondary school is not something that everybody does. So they should first take that step to, bring it in, appreciate their parents, appreciate the moment, and the next thing they need to do is prepare themselves for what's next. Most of them will have to be preparing for college or figuring out where they want to do, where they want to go with their next, stage in life. But while also doing that, they should actually talk to God. They should find a relationship with God. They should make sure that they have a connection to the God that they serve.
In her address, the proprietress of Seed of Life School, Mrs. Kike Lomo Hunshewe, congratulated the graduating students on their resilience, dedication, and academic accomplishments. She urged them to uphold the values of discipline, integrity, and excellence instilled in them by the school, while encouraging parents to continue supporting and praying for their children as they advance for higher institutions and pursue their chosen career.
It's obvious that God has been faithful to us and we are all happy. And it's what we do every year. And God has preserved us to be here again this year. So we give glory to Him. And I want to thank God for all the parents and wish all the graduating students a prosperous path in life.
Earlier delivering the welcome address on behalf of the graduating class, the outgoing senior boy, Francis Funto, expressed appreciation. He also commended his fellow graduates for their resilience and determination, urging them to remain connected and supportive of one another as they begin a new phase of life.
Okay, first of all, it's a very happy day. I'm happy to graduate out of secondary school. There's been a lot. I'm happy that I made it out and my results are good. And for my classmates, I want them to remember that we're just entering another phase of life. That this is not the end, and we should put in more efforts in where we're going. And we should not forget where we're coming from.
As part of the ceremony, the school awarded outstanding academic performance with scholarship. The overall best graduating student received a scholarship covering one academic tuition section, while the overall best pupil in the common entrance examinations was awarded a full tuition scholarship into JSS1. The event also featured the symbolic decoration of newly elected prefect by the outgoing prefect, signifying a smooth transition of leadership and responsibility within the school. Other highlights include the presentation of certificates and awards, cultural dance performance, choreography display, the cutting of the valedictory cake, and special prayer for the graduating students. The ceremony ended on a joyful note as parents, teachers, and guests congratulated the graduates and wished them success in their future academic and career pursuits. Folashade Akintola, BCOS News.
Another fatal accident occurred in Ogbomoso this morning at the seminary area where a pedestrian was crushed to death. BCOS correspondent in Ogbomoso, Aderemi Akamu, visited the scene of the accident. His report is presented by staff reporter Bimbo Akobi.
A passerby was crushed to death on Friday morning in a lone accident which occurred in Ogbomoso. The crash, which involved a trailer loading pastries, occurred around 11:30 a.m. opposite the Nigeria Baptist Theology Seminary, Ogbomoso. It was gathered that the trailer veered off the road while ascending the seminary road and fell on the man who was passing along the road. The corpse of the victim was recovered through the aid of two towing vehicles alongside officers of the police, the Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC, and the Oyo State Road Transport Management Agency OITMA, and has been deposited at an undisclosed hospital morgue. Two eyewitnesses, Samuel Odunayo and Elizabeth Ajayi, said the trailer veered off the road while ascending the hill, and a passerby was trapped under the trailer when it crashed on the road. They appealed to the federal government and the concerned contractor handling the Ogbomoso-Oyo Expressway to expedite action in completing the project to prevent trucks plying the old road from going through the road within the town, adding that this will drastically reduce road accidents along this route.
Pẹ̀lú bàbá kan tó wà tí wọ́n rán rìnbọn ní ẹsẹ̀ títì
ó mú bàbá yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ bàbá yẹn sì tẹ̀ pátápátá ẹ̀yìn ìgbà yẹn ni àwọn road safety ọlọ́pàá gbogbo wọn òun náà ni wọ́n dé àtàwọn otman àwọn náà wà ní ibẹ̀ aṣáàrọ̀ ẹ̀yìn ìjọba wa kẹ́ ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ sì ti bá wa wá àtúnṣe sí ọ̀nà wa yìí pẹ̀lú ọ̀nà express tí wọ́n ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yìí táwọn tírélà bá kúrò lọ́nà yìí irú ìjàmbá yóò ní mọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́.
èyí tí sọ́kò lọ́nà street yìí tóbi débi takí lọ́nà gbogbo mẹ́rin yìí kọ́dà kan bá jára mọ́ ojú ọ̀nà express yẹn so that àwọn tírélà yẹn wọn kì í mọ̀ gbọ̀nà mẹ́rin.
Speaking with BCOS News at the scene of the accident, the new zonal commander of the Oyo State Road Traffic Management Agency, OITMA, Mr. David Adegboye, attributed the cause of the accident to negligence of the driver, calling on all road users, especially travelers, to always find time to relax when their health requires for it. The OITMA zonal commander commended the Governor Seyi Makinde-led administration over its commitment to ensure safety on roads across the state.
We realize that a lot of accidents that are happening on our ways are caused by human errors. Like overspeeding. If you don't speed, even if any accident is to happen, if you are not overspeeding, it will be minimal or even being able to be averted. So those things we are calling on our drivers, we should be very, very careful. We should make sure that our vehicles are well maintained and we rest when we're supposed to rest. With all this.
As at the time of filing the report, transloading of the goods had commenced.
All right, dignitaries, government officials, family members, and friends and associates have continued to troop to the residence of former Oyo State Secretary to the Government of the State, Professor Olanike Adeyemo, to commiserate with the family over the death of her mother, Mrs. Modupe Olasalami, who passed on earlier this week. BCOS reporter Folashade Akintola brings the details.
The former Oyo State Secretary to the state government, Professor Olanike Adeyemo, who has been receiving sympathizer from different walks of life on behalf of the family over the demise of their matriarch, late Mrs. Modupe Olasalami. Among those who paid condolence visits were TEXCOM board member, Chief Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ajibola, former Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Chief Iyola Oladokun and his wife, Director General of Oyo State Amotekun Colonel Olayinka Olayonju, members of All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary School (ANCOPS), retired Director of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Kabiru Busari, as well as other associates and family friends. Speaking during the visit, the Director General of Oyo State Amotekun Corps, Colonel Olayinka Olayonju, described the late Mrs. Salami as a humble, compassionate, and selfless woman whose concern always extended beyond her immediate family. He recalled that she once reached out to him over security concern in her neighborhood, leading to the deployment of Amotekun personnel to the area, without him initially knowing she was Professor Olanike Adeyemo's mother. Colonel Olayonju noted that her request reflected a genuine concern for the safety and well-being of everyone in the community and prayed that God will grant her eternal rest.
I got to know Mama. She has been a pleasant mother, and I just pray that God, in His infinite mercy, will grant her eternal rest.
Other friends, associates, and colleagues also paid glory tribute to the late matriarch, describing her as a virtuous, disciplined, and devoted mother whose exemplary upbringing of her children is evident in their outstanding accomplishments and contribution to society. They said her enduring legacy of integrity, hard work, and sound moral values will continue to inspire future generations, while praying for God to comfort the family and grant them the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss.
Her death is very painful because she used to pray for her children every day by 3 a.m. in the morning. She used to pray for individual children.
When we look at the success story of Prof and the siblings as well, when we know that that is the manifestation and practical testimony of the kind of mother our departed mama was when she was alive.
Special prayer were later offered for the peaceful repose of the soul of the deceased and for divine strength, comfort, and guidance for the family during this period of mourning. The late Mrs. Modupe Olasalami will be remembered for her life of service, discipline, compassion, and unwavering commitment to her family, community, and humanity. Folashade Akintola, BCOS News.
Yes, all rest in peace. We now go over to the sports segment of the news. Please don't go anywhere.
Good evening, you're welcome to the sports segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajewale.
Chukwuebuka Enekwechi became the first Nigerian to win men's shot put gold at the Commonwealth Games on Thursday, launching a championship record throw of 21.07 meters in Glasgow. The 33-year-old produced a decisive effort on his penultimate attempt at the Scotstoun Stadium, overhauling defending champion Tom Walsh of New Zealand, who led with an opening throw of 21.03 meters. England's Scott Lincoln took bronze with 20.99 meters. The victory improved on Enekwechi's silver from the 2018 Games and erased the disappointment of his fourth-place finish in Birmingham 2 years ago. The African record holder had topped his qualification group the previous day with a single throw of 20.03 meters. And in football, Nigeria's under-20 men's side, the Flying Eagles, booked their place in the last four of the Wafu B under-20 tournament with a dominant 3-0 victory over Togo's Sparrowhawks in Yamoussoukro on Thursday. Building on their opening 4-2 win against Ghana, Nigeria broke the deadlock a minute into the second half through Muiz Adeleke. The forward completed his brace in the 59th minute before substitute Abdullahi Agbejoye added a third late on. The Flying Eagles now face Burkina Faso in the semi-finals on Sunday. And on the foreign scene, legendary AC Milan and Italy defender Franco Baresi has died at the age of 66. The club paid tribute to their former captain, whose example and integrity will be forever etched in the club's DNA. Baresi spent his entire 20-year career at Milan, making 719 appearances, captaining the side for 15 seasons and winning 6 Serie A titles and 3 European Cups. He earned 81 caps for Italy. He was part of the 1982 World Cup winning squad and captained the side in the 1994 final. His number 6 shirt was retired by the club. Finally, in sport news tonight, Chelsea have been fined £10 million and handed a suspended ban on registering new players for 2 transfer windows after admitting 74 breaches of FA rules relating to secret payments to unregistered agents and third parties between 2009 and 2022. A suspended 6-point deduction was set aside on the appeal. The club self-reported the breaches after its 2022 takeover. The FA said the reduced fine reflected the club's exceptional cooperation and early guilty plea. All of the offences occurred during Roman Abramovich's ownership.
And that will be all. And it's back to news around the world. My name is Toby Ajewale.
Thanks, Toby, for the sports stories. On the foreign scene, Nepal's Prime Minister Balendra Shah has appealed for calm following deadly clashes between Hindu and Muslim groups in the country's southern region that have claimed 3 lives. The Prime Minister has also pledged a fair and transparent investigation into the violence, while authorities impose curfews in affected districts to prevent further unrest. Foreign Desk Editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story, now presented by Bimbo Akabi.
Nepalese Prime Minister Balendra Shah has called for calm after clashes between Hindu and Muslim groups in the country's south have left 3 people dead. Shah, who has rarely appeared in public since taking office in March, broke that silence on Thursday with his first major address to the nation. He urged citizens to act responsibly and help remove the clouds of unrest. The violence began Sunday in a village in Somsali district near the Indian border after a dispute between some Hindus and Muslims over loud music and religious flags during a Hindu procession, officials said. Police opened fire to disperse the crowd, killing 2 men, according to police spokesman Abi Narayan Kalfli. The bodies of 4 climbers have reportedly been located by Pakistani search crews.
All right, to end the news around the world, here again are the top stories. The federal government has announced plans to phase out electricity subsidy payments from 2027 as part of efforts to address mounting debts in the power sector. The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has said that the decision to call for an independent examination into the abduction of teachers and pupils in Orire local government area was not intended to undermine the efforts of security agencies, but to establish the facts surrounding the incident, strengthen accountability, and improve the state's response to future security challenges. On the foreign scene, Nepal's Prime Minister Balendra Shah has appealed for calm following deadly clashes between Hindu and Muslim groups in the country's southern region that have claimed 3 lives. BCOS TV is now on Niger TV app.